What's up, G Show Land, and welcome to another episode of the G Show Podcast. I am G1, and this is the Geek Out and our Avengers Endgame review. Pardon my awesome intro there at the beginning. I could not get the rights to use the music. This would get taken down from YouTube right away, so I had to improvise. But that all aside, joining me on this momentous occasion, if you will, is none other than my right-hand man on the G Show, G95, my brother Matt. What's going on, bro?
Hey, it's me. Not a bad rendition.
Oh, thank you.
Of the Avengers theme.
Thank you. I was going to do the Captain Marvel one, but I really couldn't remember it at all. But anyhow, dude, it's here. It happened. It went down this weekend. Seriously. Mm-hmm. It was the Star Wars Episode 9 trailer in the big screen. I mean, come on, man. Did you feel it? Because I felt it. The Force awakened in my ass. I'm telling you right now. Something awakened. I was going nuts. All right, I know this is the Avengers Endgame review. I get it. But I cannot go forward without talking about seeing that Star Wars trailer on the big screen. Oh, my God. Matt, that's my reaction. Oh, my God. What was yours?
Somewhat similar. I was honestly still riding on the high of seeing that Godzilla footage in IMAX.
Oh, that's, man, a real quick story. I was avoiding everything Godzilla like the damn plague. And I seen Avengers Now twice in theaters, and the first time I went, they did not show it. And my brother looks at me, he was like, "You bastard, you got away again." And I was like, I won! I win at life! And then yesterday when I saw it, motherfuckers got me. So I'm sorry, yeah. Fuck.
So, yeah, as much as I was in awe of the new Star Wars trailer, I was more so still in awe over Godzilla. So my hype for that is a little bit died down, and it's mostly shoved into the Godzilla hype train.
I ain't mad at you. I think as of right now, seeing Avengers twice now, I think my hype for Avengers is died down. I know a lot of people haven't seen it yet, and they, I'm pretty sure for the next week or two, people are just going to be going out in force to see the Avengers Endgame. But I agree. Right now, I'm on that train. That Godzilla train is rolling. Come on, man. Emperor Palpatine's laugh at the end of that trailer. I'm sick. Come on, man.
I know.
That right there, no offense, Godzilla and G-Show Land. I mean, you know me, I love me some Godzilla, but just hearing Emperor Palpatine laugh on the big screen, let me tell you something. That was better than the entire fucking trailer of Godzilla. I'm just saying, I didn't want to see that damn trailer stupid somewhere over the rainbow. Get out of here with that bullshit. I'm sorry. I digress. But anyhow, Star Wars and Godzilla aside, this is about the Avengers Endgame. This is the literal endgame of the Marvel Cinematic Universe as we know it for the past 10 years. This is going to be a spoiler-centric review. So please, ladies and gentlemen, if you have not yet watched the movie, avoid this part of the podcast because we're going in. We're going all in. We're going all in. Whatever it takes, like Captain America says. But before we get into the actual review, I just want to read off a couple of mind-boggling numbers, okay? Matt, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, this just in, literally, as of this recording, about 45 minutes ago, Avengers Endgame nabs Galactus-sized $358 million weekend. Are you kidding me? Listen to this. Avengers Endgame shattered the bounds of realistic opening weekend predictions this weekend with a towering $358 million domestic and around $1.1 billion in its global debut. Drop the mic. Are you... what? It's Sunday, dude. This movie, okay, there were 5 o'clock shows starting on Thursday, the preview night, and then this thing just kept going. It's a 3-hour-long movie. What the... Dude, in all honesty, I knew it was going to make buku bucks, but this is ridiculous. For the length of this movie, every movie theater had to be showing it in at least 7 theaters. all night long. It's crazy, dude. What do you think of these numbers?
It's way higher than I expected. Like, obviously, a lot of people saw it this weekend. I saw it this over the weekend, but like when I was at work, come Friday, I think only 3 people had seen it Thursday night because nobody could get tickets. Nobody could get tickets for Thursday night.
That's true.
And yeah, like just to see it explode so much. I've read that a bunch of like really bigger theater chains have like opened up like extra overnight showings, so you can go see Avengers at like 4 a.m. in certain theaters, which is pretty crazy because the demand is that high for people to see it so soon. It's insane.
It's crazy, man. I work at a high school, and you had to see the amount of the teenagers coming up to me, the students coming up to me on Friday. Like, did you see it? Did you see it? Yes, I saw it. Hell, I saw some of y'all in the theater. Come on, y'all, let's get it together. But it was it's insane, dude. You said 4:00 in the morning. I remember seeing Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, at 4:00 in the morning. True story. Times Square, New York City. I'll never forget that. I was very tired at work that day. But yeah, dude, these numbers are insane. I mean, justifiably so. Okay, because we're gonna get into it. I really enjoyed this movie, and I think I loved it more the second time I seen it. I still have a lot of beefs with some of it, and I mean, like, but overall, it was definitely worth it. So let's as our good friend Don Fry would say, go right into it. Spoilers, people. Here we go, dude. Right off the freaking bat, they kill Thanos.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? And I didn't see that coming. Not like that. Not like that. This movie went right from the beginning. It went a completely different direction from where I thought it was going, and I love that. And I love that.
Yeah.
Staying away from social media, staying away from anything that would spoil anything. Going in with a fresh slate. Hell, the commercials themselves, the trailers, weren't giving anything away.
Mm-hmm.
And so super kudos to Marvel and the team, the Russos, whoever was in charge of marketing this movie, because it worked. It worked so well. Because it was, again, out of left field, slap in the face, and it worked. And I was like, wow. It didn't work for me, though. Captain Marvel just showing up, happened to come across Tony Stark. I don't get it. I get that Captain Marvel's supposed to be this big-time superhero. You got Academy Award-winning actress Brie Larson. But come on, man. Seriously, as I take a sip from my Captain Marvel cup, true story, what did you think? Like, what was your initial reaction in the first, what was it? First 10 minutes of that movie and Thanos is dead.
I was just genuinely shocked. Like, I don't know. If that is the last thing I saw coming, cutting off Thanos' arm, and then Thor just fucking decapitating him. Like, I couldn't have saw that coming less. And it made me like really happy because that was when I was like, okay, I have no idea what's gonna happen, and the movie was all the better for it. Yeah, it was crazy. And to touch on the Brie Larson thing, or the Captain Marvel thing rather, I see the point of how she just kind of like shows up. Like but I was pretty okay with it. I thought overall she was handled better than in her own solo movie. She was still kind of the MacGuffin, but it was fine. It was serviceable. When she was there and like doing stuff, I'm like, all right, fuck yeah, she's contributing. And when she's not there, I'm like, that's fine too.
Brie Larson has a grand total. Let me tell you something. The freaking credits has more screen time than Brie Larson does in this movie.
Overall, yeah.
It's insane. It's insane.
But the credits also have a lot more screen time than Spider-Man, than Doctor Strange, than Winter Soldier, than.
And I'm gonna get to that because that's one of my beefs. When we get to that later down. But yeah, you know what? I digress. I'm gonna take back that statement. I'm not really mad at it because he was floating around in space for 20 some odd days, and I mean, when the dusting did happen, Nick Fury did call Captain Marvel. So she came as soon as... So yeah, she could have been searching for him for maybe 20 days. So I guess it's plausible. But space is very big. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Space is very, very big.
It's unlikely, but it is not impossible.
Absolutely. So I'll concede to that. And then dude, I swear, I honestly loved everything Tony Stark was saying to Captain America. He was like, we lost, dude. He was like, I got my face wiped with a planet. Come on, man. I do is dope. I love Tony Stark in this movie. He has...
Oh, he's fantastic. He and Cap are the heart and soul of the movie.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, but let me ask you, was he wrong? Like, honest, like, I felt Tony Stark. I was on his side. Look, what are we going to do? What can we do? You know?
I think, like, I saw his point, but I felt a lot of it was overall, like, just kind of misplaced aggression, because he was like, Cap, I needed you, and you were here, and well, Cap's like, well, I fought him too. You were in fucking space. I was fighting him on Earth. Like, I felt it too. Why are you so pissed off at me? That was my takeaway from it. But yeah, like Tony's feelings were not invalid.
No, I mean, honestly, and I loved that line. He said, I had a vision of this a while back, and he was like, I saw this coming. And remember when I wanted to put a suit of armor all over the world? Remember? And I was like, yeah, see? He was preparing for some stupid shit like that. I don't think it would have mattered, you know? But at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, I get it. You're right. His frustrations, I felt it though, man. I really did. I was like, I'm on board with you, Tony Stark. I'm on board with you. Then, of course, they find out that the damn gauntlet has been used again.
Mm-hmm.
They track it down. They cut Thanos' head off because Thanos used the stones again to destroy the stones. I thought that was genius. Good move, Thanos. Good move. Speaking of Thanos, dude, what do you think? 2014 Thanos or, Infinity War Thanos? Who's more... I think 2014 is more ruthless because he's like, the stones are right there all together. I'm going to kill everybody now.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah.
Plus, even though he was downplaying it, I think seeing his fate, getting his head cut off, I think he was mad. He downplayed it, but I think he might have been mad.
Maybe a little. I think, I don't know, overall, like, I guess I liked the character more of, like, present-day Thanos over 2014 Thanos, because, like, a lot of the struggle he had to go through and to get all the Infinity Stones, the sacrifices he had to make, didn't come through with this Thanos. Like, that Thanos didn't really experience that yet. But it's still the same Thanos in a way, like, still same motivation, same backstory. In his mind, he's doing the universe a favor. But this Thanos just didn't have the heart. Yes, he's absolutely more ruthless. He even says, like, I never took pleasure in any of this, but I'm going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that kind of diminished the impact of this Thanos, given that he hasn't experienced a lot of the trials and sacrifices that Infinity War Thanos experienced.
Agreed. I felt, I like Thanos a lot, and I did like him in this movie. But I felt like Infinity War, like you said, man, there was so many layers to him. It was so good, so well done. Whereas this one, he was literally just your run of the mill big bad. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And he treated him as such, you know? I mean, Jesus, the freaking epic fight scene at the end, which we're going to get to, it was just like, okay, there it is. I'm not mad at it, but yeah, I'm on the same page as you. All right.
I wouldn't even call it just a run-of-the-mill big bad, because, like, we know his motivations. We had his movie with Infinity War, but yeah, the weight of him being there wasn't quite as impactful.
Yes. See, that's why I keep you around, bro. You definitely you could put to words what I'm feeling and trying to say.
I try.
Oh, I thank you. They killed Thanos, ladies and gentlemen. Cut his hand off. First off, that was dope. I absolutely loved them because they didn't know. And then, you know, as soon as Thanos was like, oh, my daughter did something, blah, 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 head cut off, blah. 5 years later, now I'm gonna tell you the truth, man. I didn't like this 5-year time jump. I think it was too long of a time jump. Like seriously, because when the 15 Lord of the Ring, Return of the King style endings start happening, I'm like, wait, what? What? Jesus Christ, man, hurry up. If it was a year, maybe 2, hell, 5 months, I was okay with 5 months. But 5 years, I don't know. It's a long time. It's a long time, and I get it. They're stewing and simmering for 5 years, but I personally, I don't know. I didn't like 5 years, even though I understand it makes sense, especially for Tony Stark. It makes a lot of sense. What about you, man? Was 5 years perfect for you, or were you like me, just grumpy old man?
Yeah, it's. I thought it was great to see like what the snap, the dusting, that like that's not something we were just able to brush off. You know, like that's not it. It affected the universe greatly. You know, it's not something we're able to recover from, and it's not something that people are able to get over. You know, people lost their entire families. You know, just like the emotional weight of that, and being able to stew on that for 5 years and not literally have nothing to do about it. I thought it was great. I thought it was perfect, because this is the first, you know, thing that the Avengers. This is the first time the Avengers have failed. This is the first time that they failed, and there was, up until that point, no going back. There was no fixing that mistake. There was no, you know, they failed, and they have to deal with that failure. And I thought it was great to see the humanity, and to a lesser extent or a greater extent, the entire universe struggling and failing, and, you know, dealing with that. I thought it was awesome.
Okay, fair enough. They 5 years, we find out Tony Stark has a child, which I loved. Little what's her name? Megan, I think. Morgan. Yes. Cap is doing what Sam used to do, but with regular people instead of soldiers. I thought that was pretty good. Even though I thought that was an unnecessary scene, could have been cut. One of those things. You know, my cons movie was bloated. But hey, man, here got another spoiler. Like, seriously, Professor Hulk, come on, man, are you serious? And I mean, I forgot that Ant-Man, the one who actually sets this whole story into motion. It's been 5 years, but when he comes out because of a freaking rat walking on the control board, when he comes out of the, I forgot the hell, what's the name of that zone? Wow.
The Quantum
Realm, yes. When he comes out and he goes to see the event, he's only been gone for 5 hours. I actually like that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love that. But when you play with time in movies, it gets real tricky. And I think they were trying to explain it, and then it was just like it turned into like a joke revolving around time, time travel movies. One of the funniest ones being Paul Rudd saying "hot tub time machine." I thought that was hysterical because he's in that movie, and I was like, that got a good chuckle out of the theater and me. I laughed. But yeah, time travel to me is tricky. But yeah, they go. He says, "Hey, things work different. We can do a time heist. We can get the stones. We just need, a way to do it." They go to Tony. Tony has his daughter. He's like, "Nope, we ain't doing it. You're bugging." They said, "We need a bigger brain." They find Professor Hulk. I'm like, yo, and I dug it. I can't even lie. I absolutely dug it. I love the way it looked. I love the mocap. I think it was some of the best to date. I mean, hell, if you look at what they were doing with Josh Brolin and Thanos, hell, you look at what they were doing with Ruffalo and Hulk in the first Avengers movie. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, this was just, good God, man, we have come so far. It's amazing. I love the way he looked. It was perfect. I was looking at little things, little details. The way he was moving his mouth. He does this little lip thing. This, like, he licks his lips. And it's like, I don't even know why that's a thing that I focused in on twice watching it. But I was like, huh. And it was just in one scene. But it was like, it felt human. It felt real. It felt okay. You know what I mean? Like, that's a normal thing to do, I guess. Little things like that. I don't know why I'm going that route. But I am. And I dug it. What did you think of Professor Hulk, man? Honestly, we're going just the spoiler route, like the big moments, comic book moments. Because I'll be honest, there is people who read the comic books. There is fan service throughout this movie, fan service. So, like, for instance, my daughter doesn't know who Professor Hulk is at all. She doesn't read the comics. She just knows the movies, right? But for us, we're like, oh shit, Professor Hulk, that's crazy. And there's moments like that throughout. I loved it. What do you think of Professor?
I mean, I didn't get as much out of it as you probably did, because I've never been the biggest Marvel comic reader.
Oh, that's right. You're
so I'm really not too familiar with Professor Hulk. It was still cool to see, because I only have like a cursory knowledge of the character. So it was cool to finally see, and it's been cool to see Hulk sort of have this arc over the last few movies where he gets more sentient and he and Banner become one. So I liked that, but I definitely didn't get as much out of seeing Professor as you did.
Gotcha. I loved it. Well, again, I agree. I see what you're saying. You didn't read those comics. You're a DC fanboy. I get it. I'm with you.
Yeah, that's true. I am.
I love that when they use Hulk to try to do Time Machine, and then the gag with Ant-Man being like a teenager, an old man, a baby. Yeah, that was funny. And then Tony Stark comes to save the day because he figured out time travel. I thought that was dope. I thought it was funny and not dope. But once they get it and they're like, we got to get the team together, here goes one of my biggest pet peeves. Spoilers, people. Fat Thor. Oh, God. I can't. I gotta be honest with you. I really did not like Thor at all in this movie up until, like, the end. And the only reason why I liked him at the end is because of the fight. Or maybe when he sees Freya and he has that conversation with her. I was digging that. But they just, to me, I think Thor just became comic relief. And I don't know if you needed that. I mean, don't get me wrong, because some of the stuff is funny throughout the movies. But to me, it feels like Thor is the butt of the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like, you got snarky Tony Stark, right? Who's real quick-witted and quippy. You got Captain America, who's the embodiment of, I'm not going to say America, but like truth and justice, damn near close to Superman, you know what I mean, as you can get in terms of morals. You got the assassins. They're not quippy. But then you got the tank. But then you got Thor. And he's supposed to be a fucking tank. He's your warrior. He's a monster. Not a monster, but, he's one of your powerhouses on the battlefield. He's a fucking god. And you make him the god of jokes. And it just drives me crazy. And then seeing him all fat and being... That scene, I could have dealt without, like, 5 minutes of it. Get in there. Oh, look, it's Korg. It's Meek. Wonderful. And then have him, like, we need you back. Simple as that. Not this drawn out, are you here for the cable? Get on the phone with Buttmaster 69 or whoever the kid was, and he's saying, I'm naked. None of that shit was necessary. Cut that. Use that time somewhere down the line. When you can give it to, I don't know, maybe say the Hulk in the final battle. We'll get to it. But what did you think? Because honestly, personally, I Thor didn't do it for me at all in this movie, and it wasn't even like his aesthetic, his look. It wasn't even that he was fat Thor. I just didn't like him at all in this movie.
I liked Fat Thor. I think I thought pretty much everything with him was funny. All the comedy stuff worked really well. Yeah, I kind of agree about his introduction being it could be trimmed a bit, but it I still really liked all of it. Um, I thought he embodied the failure of the Avengers. Like he killed Thanos, but it was still too late. Yeah. And he's just kind of wallowing because Thor's never had that failure before. Thor, like the rest of the Avengers, has always come out on top. And in this, he didn't come out on top. And he's dealing with it worse than everybody else. You know, Tony moved on with his life. Black Widow is trying to keep the Avengers going and trying to do good in the world and in the universe. And Cap is trying to help his fellow man. Thor is just wallowing. Yeah. And I thought that was a really good aspect to it. Yeah, he was kind of the butt of the joke, but it's also, you know, like he has been the kind of embodiment of perfection in a lot of ways. And like he's funny, he's good looking because he's fucking Chris Hemsworth. He's all powerful, and everybody loves him, and it's nice to see some like real flaws with Thor being chubby and insecure. I liked all of it.
I don't know. I was like, especially that one scene when they start talking about the Infinity Stones, and he's like, first off, it's not a stone, it's a thing. That scene right there, dude. If there ever is a piss break moment, is that part right there. Because that is terrible. It was unnecessary. And he's going on this spiel about Jane, and then he gets to his mom, and he's, oh, I'm not done yet. Dude, it was terrible. I hated that.
No, I loved all that.
Yeah, oh man, see, I couldn't stand it. I was like, this is boring. But I ain't mad at you. Yeah, so they do all that stuff. Then they come to, like, all right, we can do the time travel shit. Hawkeye, first of all, I'd be remiss if I don't get into Ronin. I mean, granted, he's only in one scene, but that scene was pretty badass in Tokyo when he's taking out the Yakuza. And I loved his reasoning behind it. You bastards survived the snap when other people didn't, and you're still hurting people? I'm going to kill you. You know? They got Thanos, you get me. That was like his line. I was like, that is dope. I love it. I wish there was more of Ronin. I ain't mad that they couldn't have been, but I dug the shit out of that scene. Especially because
I thought it was... I loved it, too. It's nice to see Hawkeye finally get his moment.
Oh, yeah.
To finally get some, like, emotional depth with him. Like, yeah, he had his family in Age of Ultron, but still, they were kind of just like a time waster thing, while the Avengers kind of, like, recovered, quote-unquote, like they kind of did in the first Avengers. That was just, time filler, just kind of wasted moments of the movie. This, he really has time to shine. You really get to know who Hawkeye is and how, like, what's going on inside his mind. And I love that, too. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely. I think in this movie in particular, Hawkeye shines. I mean, they really give him moments. Now, I just want to say they give him some moments, man. And I loved it. I mean, he opens the movie. He opens the movie with his family, and then you see him getting dusted. I thought that was great. He's the one that's like, you know what? I'm gonna do the time. I'll do the time travel thing, see if this works or not. He doesn't care. He's got a death wish, pretty much. He's got moments, man, and I really do, like you said, man. I appreciated what they did with Hawkeye in this. Kudos to them and Jeremy Renner because he fucking killed it. But yeah, so all right, time works. They're gonna go back in time. They're gonna collect Infinity Stones. They only have a certain amount of pin particles. I really do love when Black Widow was like, dude, you know, if you get the right year, there are 3 Infinity Stones in New York City. What? I love that. I was like, yeah, it's dope. So let's get to that because that I can't front, man. That's when all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, here comes the fan service. When they all go back in time and Cap, Iron Man, Hulk, and Ant-Man go back to the first Avengers movie and the Battle of New York. Dude, let me tell you something. To this day, I still absolutely love that movie. It's like, I'll tell you, man, I can't get enough of that movie. And even watching it now, I still feel like giddy when I watch it. I'm like, oh man, I love this movie. And I love that battle. I do. So seeing them go back, I was so freaking on board with it. But what I really, really liked was they didn't focus more on the Battle of New York. More so they focused on the aftermath, which I really loved. Seeing like literally what happened seconds after Loki gave up and on. I thought that was dope. I really did. What about you?
Yeah, total agreement. It was hilarious. It was cool to get that side of things. And it was just, yeah, it was great. I don't know. You summed it up better than I did this time.
Well, and here, another part of comic book fan service here that maybe you know because it was recent. And even though you don't read Marvel, I mean, you probably heard of this, but...
Oh, yeah, I know.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. When S.H.I.E.L.D. / Hydra comes in to take the staff, Loki Scepter, and then Cap gets on the elevator with them, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm having flashbacks to Winter Soldier when he gets on the elevator and they fight in the elevator, because it was like the same team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was like everybody was there, it was the same thing. And when Cap was like, I gotta take that coming from the director himself, and they were like, we gotta call it in. He's like, no need. And he goes, Hail Hydra. Dude, for me, I lost my shit.
Yeah.
I lost it. Because, yes, in the context of the movie verse, it makes perfect sense. He knows what happened because he's lived it already. Mm-hmm. But to me, that was like straight for comic book fans too. It's like, yo, remember a couple years ago, not even like 3 years ago, when we did Secret Empire and Cap was agent of Hydra and he was like the head of Hydra? Like, dude, I loved it. And then Cap versus Cap? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I was sitting there like fanboy Nirvana, bro. I was like, this is perfect. Because it, again, calls back to that Secret Empire. And yes, they were both real Captain America. And you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like they were legit Cap. So, but Jesus, just the visual. I thought it was fantastic. I loved it. What about you?
Yeah, agreed. I won't be able to match your excitement.
Sorry.
But, yeah, it was nice to really, really cool for them to turn that Hail Hydra thing on its head. Whether or not I agree with the controversy that surrounded that thing like 3 years ago when it happened, it's cool for them to acknowledge it and turn it on its head in just a fun, tip of the hat kind of way.
Right. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, seriously, if you haven't read Secret Empire or you were upset with the whole Cap being a Hydra agent, trust me, it's a good read, man. That is a good read. It actually got me reading Captain America again since he died, ages ago. Ages ago. I'm trying to say Age of Ultron. See, I can't do it. But yeah, I thought that was dope. How about all of the callback? I mean, like, think about it. This movie was so stacked. They had like damn near every single character that played a role, an important part in a Marvel movie in this one. Tilda Swinton was there, and the Hulk went to see her to get the Time Stone. Dude, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't that a nuts?
It was, yeah. Couple noticeable absences, though, that I saw. I think it would have been nice to see Anthony Hopkins as Odin one more time, and I am willing to give actual money to guarantee they didn't actually shoot anything with Natalie Portman. Like, that was probably just leftover footage that they just inserted Rocket into.
Yeah, and I don't even think that was her. I think that was a stunt double when you see Rocket, because they didn't even show her face at that point. That it was like just like her body.
They showed her face for one shot.
One shot, yeah. But what I'm saying is, I think that was cutting room material from Dark World or Dark whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I get that. I mean, but being she was there, Odin, I guess I personally didn't need to see Odin again because I really loved what they did with Thor and Freya. I thought that was my favorite scene up until the end, of course, with Thor. But even then, it kind of like he got a little muddy when he was like, "Yeah, I am totally from the future." I'm like, "Oh God."
Mm-hmm.
Like, come on, Thor.
No, I liked that.
See,
it was
Beach Bum Thor. No,
Thor in the Dark World didn't get any resolution with his mom dying. She just died, and he had to go deal with the next thing. In Ragnarok, he actually got to say goodbye to his father, and this was his chance to say goodbye to him. You know, same thing happened with Tony being able to talk to his father one last time. It was necessary. It was to bring everything full circle. It was to give every character the closure they needed.
Oh, I'm not arguing that. Trust me. Like I said, I like that. I did. I just didn't like some of again, making Thor a goofball in that moment. I'm like, yo, you're in front of your mom, and like you just finished saying, like you didn't get your clothes, and here it is. And I loved what they did with her. And she was like, dude, I'm a witch. I was raised by witches. I see with things other than my eyes. I love that. I was like, that is dope. All right. And I love that she just took him in and was like, talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, talk to me. What's going on? And she's telling him, you're a failure and stuff, but that's okay. And I loved it, man. I did. But then she goes, eat a salad. I was like, oh God, come on. Don't do that. Don't do that. You have a really good moment and then you ruin it with a joke. I'm like, wait, did Joss Whedon come back? Seriously? What's going on here? But I digress. I thought it was still a fantastic scene. I loved it. I loved them teaming with Rocket. And when Rocket steals the stone and he's running through and you hear the ex-Guardians, get that rabbit.
Yeah.
Nobody picked that up in the theater. I was cracking up and I'm like, okay, let me stop laughing now. What the hell? Nobody paid. Y'all don't remember? That's a great callback. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Or when Tony called him Build-A-Bear, dude.
Yeah.
That was funny too. Anyhow, that was good. I loved, dude. Come on. Okay, so here's the deal. Here's where I want to ask you a question. Loki picked up the Tesseract. What the hell's going on there?
Who cares?
What do you mean? Who cares?
He's still it's the space stone. It's not the time stone. He's still in that timeline, and that timeline is, it's done and it's over with. Yeah, it could make some kind of tangent in the future, but I really don't think him escaping that part of the past is going to have any effect on the present timeline's future.
Bro, I get that. But at the end of that movie, at the end of Avengers, they show Loki being escorted back to Asgard. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, what the hell? He dissipated. Now, so what I'm thinking is this. I think that is the jump off to the Disney Plus show. And then maybe that's where it takes place, And then through some, I don't know, time travel MacGuffin, he goes back to the end of Avengers, and then the timeline just continues like normal.
Well, I think a lot of the Disney Plus shows are going to have to take place in that pocket of either in the past or between Infinity War and Endgame. I assume that's where the Scarlet Witch movie is going to, or not Scarlet Witch, Black Widow movie is going to take place.
Oh yeah, it has to.
Certainly, the Scarlet Witch Vision show is going to take place pre-Infinity War.
Yep.
Given that Falcon takes up the mantle as Cap at the end of Endgame, the Falcon and Winter Soldier shows can probably take place in between those two movies, and I honestly don't love the idea of them doing that, because Star Wars does the same thing. Star Wars just lives in that pocket of in between episodes 3 and 4. They don't feel comfortable breaking outside of that and doing far in the future stuff or far in the past. It's always got to be set between 3 and 4. Just like that's law. That's apparently where everything interesting in all of the Star Wars timeline has ever happened, is in that 19-year span. Wholeheartedly disagree with that, and I really, really hope that Marvel doesn't go down that same path.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think Winter Soldier and Falcon is going to take place in that time period. I think it's going to be afterwards. I think it's going to be more along the lines of, I'm not ready to take that mantle yet, because Bucky is A, frozen in Wakanda for a while, and then B, still in Wakanda for a while when Infinity War happens. You know what I mean? So he's not even on the field. He's not even on the board. So I think that series is going to take place after Endgame. I think that's going to be our, post Endgame show, and I'm not mad at that, because I can totally see that. Sam, like, okay, I'm supposed to be Captain America, but I don't think I'm ready yet. And then them two being Cap's best friends, I would say, going through the motions together, where at the end maybe then he does put on the mantle of Cap. But that's a podcast for another time. This is the Avengers Endgame spoiler review, and we're about to get into it. They get through, all the means. They get the stones. Everybody gets stoned. They do throwbacks to all the movie. Well, not all of them, but Avengers, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. I love that they're on Morag. I love that they show Quill doing his "Come and Get Your Love" number. I absolutely love that, actually, because I wasn't on board with that movie until I saw that clip in Disneyland. And I was like, oh my God, I can't wait. This movie's going to be dope. And it was. I really kind of didn't like how Thanos was able to, be inserted into this movie. Because Nebula's network was on the same network, because now she's back in his two Nebulas. And all of a sudden, 2014 Nebula, her freaking eye thing opens up and has a vision of what's going on. That to me felt forced. That was just me. It didn't feel natural. Everything was feeling good, flowing right, having good comic book moments. That was just like, okay, here we need to get the bad guy involved. This is how we do it. Nebula's eye thing. I don't know. I wasn't feeling that. What about you?
I was fine with it.
Of course.
It's not to be a contrarian, but yeah, I thought it was totally fine. Like, she's the only like cybernetically enhanced character, and she's got a lot of metal shit going on inside her head. I assume there's some like space Wi-Fi or whatever, and now you have two like space routers that are on like the same, like have the same like IP address or whatever, what the fuck ever, because I don't know a lot of that tech stuff, but the having two of the exact same thing, like kind of like colliding or from two different timelines, kind of makes sense a little bit when it's like dealing with space Wi-Fi, or at least in my mind it makes sense.
I ain't mad at that one at all, bro. You know what? It gets a pass, because the way you just described the space Wi-Fi and having the two route, you know what? Yep, why not? Sure, I love it. Oh man. Look. Well, that's how Thanos gets involved. They go and they capture future Nebula, and then they use the pin particles to go back. But they got it. Somebody's got to get that Soul Stone, and we all know what happens when you go to get the Soul Stone. And this just so happened to be one of those things where I was like, okay, but I was a little disappointed too. I was like, damn, but if anybody's got to die, it has to be one of them, right? And it was Black Widow and Hawkeye. And, watching it the second time, knowing it's going to happen, I'm looking for all the tells. I'm looking for the classic movie tropes when you know somebody's going to die, And it's there. It's there. They, like, right before they go into, right before they time travel, she's saying her goodbyes. They're showing her long. And I'm like, son of a bitch. They're telegraphing it right here, And I mean, it still worked. Disappointed, yes, not in the scene, but because I love Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
Was one of my favorites. And think about it, man. She's one of the originals. She was in Iron Man 2. You know what I mean? Like, she was the third Avenger, really, to show up in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You had Tony Stark, you had Hulk, and then she was there as his bodyguard or secretary. I forget, because Iron Man 2 was so long ago, and I don't watch that movie. But yeah, so it hurt. I did love that sequence with them fighting, and, you know, when Hawkeye's like, he goes, what did he say? He said, I think we have a different meaning on, like, who's going, or something to that effect. And I just, dude, it was good. It was sad. The fact that she looked like Gamora laying there, though, I was kind of like, come on, is that how you die when you fall off this thing? Is that a thing? I don't know. But, yeah, man. Did you have any of the same type of feelings when she could, like, how do you feel
I thought
about
it was
her?
the most impactful leading up to that, like them fighting, because it just shows, I don't know, heroes to the very end. And yeah, it just, you know, I get chills just thinking about it. Just the thing that I really like love in this movie, just overall, was just like the heart that all of the characters had, like the passion to save the day, like, you know, just they're all just definitions of a hero, and it was fucking beautiful.
Yeah, I ain't mad. You know what, too? And it was crazy because it seemed like, again, Hawkeye had a death wish. To me, I don't think Hawkeye believed this was going to work. That's why he was like, I'll do it. And just, if it does work, tell my family I love them. And I did it, and she was like, nope, because she believed it was going to work, and she believed in her friends. And yeah, man, now I'm getting chills thinking about it, too. Fuck. Moving on. Damn you, Black Widow. Why'd you have to be so brave? So she's done. They get the stones. They get back to present-day Earth. They come back with evil Nebula from 2014, who's posing as decent Nebula, or the Blue Meanie, as Tony Stark called it. I lost my mind with that one, too. That was funny. And then they use first off, dude, come on, man, the Iron Man gauntlet, that was dope. Screw the Infinity Gauntlet. I want an Iron Man gauntlet, like I do. I loved it. I loved when Thor was like, let me do it. And they were like, no, buddy, you're not in the right mind. You're not in the right mind. And Hulk was like, I'll do it because I'm the strongest. And you see what it did to Thanos. I can handle it. He did the snap. All of a sudden, Hawkeye's phone starts going off. It's his wife. I was like, oh, dear, here we go. And then, boom, son. Fucking Thanos comes. And this is where the shit just goes, man. This shit went to like 0 to 100 for the rest of the movie. It did not let up, man. The freaking the foot is on all the way down to the floor. The pedals down. Dude. I mean, for real, bro. When Thanos starts blowing up that fucking the Avengers base, I was like, man. See, dude, I'm a real simpleton when it comes to. I just love shit blowing up. That's why I love Godzilla movies. I love seeing the Death Star explode. I love shit blowing up. That was beautiful. That was good. Thanos' flagship laying waste to the Avengers base was dope, son. Dope. And I love that they were all like, fucking poor Rocket. I can't breathe. Oh, man, you can feel it. Like, It was raw, bro. Like, oh, my God, here we go. And then here they go. There goes the big three, the trinity of the Marvel Universe, if you will. Going down to fight Thanos, bro. And when Thor transforms, like when he gets Mjolnir and Stormbreaker, and the suit comes on, and that dude's beard has the fucking braid in it, man, I lost my shit. I said, oh, where were you the whole movie, bro? Come on, man. That was dope. And Hawkeye gets another moment because who's the first one to see the gauntlet there? Hawkeye.
Mm-hmm.
Who gets it? Hawkeye. And he's running from those damn creatures that attack Wakanda. I loved it. He uses the arrow. He uses his sword. I loved it. Hell, no, it was an arrow. He shot an arrow. But I loved it. I loved that. Then the fight happens, and then it's just It's pandemonium. So, one of the biggest fan service moments, if not the biggest fan service moment, is Captain America. You know where I'm going with this.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that coming?
I don't think I was like consciously knew it, but it was kind of inevitable.
Yeah. When Captain America wields Mjolnir, dude, the theater went bonkers. I went bonkers. I mean, and I kind of saw it coming. The first time I saw the movie, I don't know. I was just like, oh, I mean, I loved it. I was like, oh, that's dope. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, it didn't feel right. I don't know why. The second time I seen it, I was like, oh, man, this just feels right. Like, what the fuck? It's so dope. But good God almighty, bro, when he gets that damn hammer and starts laying waste to Thanos, bro, I couldn't believe what I was seeing, man. I was like, look. And it was so good. It was so good. I love that all three of them were holding their own against Thanos to an extent. I loved how Iron Man's suit had like all of these dope ass things come out of it and just shoot like this mega beam at him using Thor's lightning. Like, just, dude, there was so much dopeness going on at that moment. I was like, the first time I seen it, sensory overload. Overload. Couldn't get that out. But the second time I was like just soaking it all in, like, good God almighty, this is so dope. And then Thanos says, fuck this shit. Starts beating the crap out of everybody like nothing. And but he hacked the damn shield, bro. What the hell is Thanos' sword made of? What the hell is that shit made of? Because he hacked that shield to pieces. Cap was done, man. Dude, before I get into the Mjolnir, like, you went crazy when that happened?
Oh yeah. Went nuts.
And then as Thanos is like about to kill everybody, and he's doing his little speech, his monologue, like, I'm gonna lay waste to your world and enjoy it because I freaking hate you. like Thanos was mad, bro. They pissed him off. He was like, I really do not like you motherfuckers. I'm gonna kill the entire world. I'm going to what he said? He said he was going to destroy the entire universe. And then bring it all back clean slate. And he was like, and you should thank me for that because nobody's going to know nothing and everybody's going to be happy. Okay, but they're going to kill everybody. Dude, you can't do that. That's genocide on a galactic level. You just can't do that. But yeah, dude, and then I swear, bro, as soon as you hear Sam, Cap, Sam, come in. On your left. Oh, damn, the fuck, I love that shit so you don't know. I mean, dude. I be walking around saying on your left all the time. So when I heard that in the theater, I was like, little tear rolled down my eyes. It's beautiful. And then there's the Doctor Strange magical portal opening up and Black Panther Shuri and for whatever reason I can't remember Michonne's name in the movie, but good God. And then everybody just comes back, bro. Everybody just comes back. Let me ask you, who got the biggest reaction in your theater when they were coming back?
Probably Spider-Man.
Yeah, okay, yeah. It was crazy, though, the second time around, people cheered when Black Panther came out, and then the other portal started opening up. People started cheering when Doctor Strange came out, but then the Guardians were right behind them. They started to die down, and then Spider-Man came out, and nobody clapped. And I was like, this is where you clap. This is the moment. What? I wasn't mad. I was still happy. People were happy. And then it was just straight pandemonium. I mean, that was an epic fight, bro. That was an epic fight. I was telling my friend that it felt like the Lord of the Ring movie, Return of the King, that fight at the end. The difference was I didn't care about any of those characters in that movie. I cared about these characters. I had no fear that anybody was going to die because they already did, right? But just seeing all of that on screen, dude, you never saw that. You would never think that was ever going to happen 10 years ago. You know? Yeah, never. When that first Avengers movie came out, there was no way you thought that it was going to end up with the end game and what we got, seeing all of these characters on screen fucking fighting, going crazy. And as dope as all that was, you know who we didn't see on screen fighting? Hulk. Why? I don't get it. Because if anybody had anything to do or prove, it should have been Hulk. Because he got his ass whipped by Thanos in the first one, decided I'm not coming out to play no more. If anybody needed some kind of a redemption moment, where was the Hulk? You see where you could have cut some of that Thor stuff out so you could give Hulk some awesome moments in this? But no, we didn't get none of that. We ain't getting none of that. We focused on Spider-Man, justifiably so. You know what I mean? And that was pretty much it. That was pretty much it until, I can't even lie, until the females came. Dude, when all the... Oh my God. First off, Pepper Potts in the suit. Come on, man. Wasn't that dope?
That was... Everything about that last fight was dope.
Oh my God, dude. When her and Tony Stark are back-to-back blowing things out of the sky, I was like, oh my God. It was so dope. It was so dope. When Scarlet Witch comes down, I said it's over, Prime, because Thanos was dead right there. Thanos was dead right there. She was going to kill him. She was going to kill him, and the only way he could get out of that, he said, rain fire. He said, fuck it, because I'm going to die. Kill everybody. Dude, she had him. She was going to kill him. And she did that to Ultron. When Quicksilver died.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, you want to know what it feels like to have your heart ripped out of your chest? And killed him. She's got to be, seriously, the most powerful Avenger. Yeah? Don't you think?
Yeah, probably. Whether or not I really actually like her character is another story, but, continue.
Are you serious? You don't like Scarlet Witch?
Not so much.
My God, man, you're just a hater. No, I'm not. I can't believe you liked Thor more than Scarlet Witch in this. This doesn't make sense.
She was cool. I liked her for what she did. And it was really awesome to see her kick so much ass. But
okay.
I don't know, just something about her I've never really gravitated towards. Just never really done it for me.
Well, when she makes the cameo in Godzilla 2, don't say I didn't warn you. That's a joke. She's not going to be in it. But dude, she had Thanos. She had Thanos dead to rights. And then Captain Plot Device comes back to destroy the ship. And it was cool, don't get me wrong, because again, shit blowing up, you got my attention. But come on, man. Like, seriously. I will say one thing. I think one of the coolest moments of the entire battle, though, was after she comes back and all the girls gather. I thought that was fantastic, first off. I know a lot of people will be... You know for a fact there's going to be a bunch of dudes being like, oh, why did I have to do that? Come on, bro. I don't even care. It's not even about the age we live in. It's the visual. That was dope. That was dope. They all got together and they all went at it. I thought it was dope. But when she starts fighting Thanos, right? And Thanos has the gauntlet. And he goes to snap and she comes back and she grabs his hand. And she's about to like break his fingers, it looked like. And he starts headbutting her and she's not even flinching. When that dude took the Power Stone from the gauntlet and punches her in the face with it, dude, I lost my shit. I was like, oh, that was like one of the best moments in that battle, son. It was so dope. It was just like Thanos using his brain. That's something Batman would have done. You know it. I know it. We all know it. You know what I mean? It was such a dope move. That was a dope moment, bro. That was a dope moment. But then it happens, man. Then it happens. Doctor Strange puts up the one. And right before Thanos goes to snap, there's Iron Man trying to grab the gauntlet. And dude, Jesus Christ. Dude, did your theater erupt during that at that point in time?
Oh yeah.
When he goes, I am inevitable. And then there's nothing there because Tony Stark stole. And that's what I loved about it too, because it makes sense. That's not your gauntlet, Thanos. That is an Iron Man gauntlet. It's created with that nanotech he's got coursing through his body, dude. That's in his hand. Oh my God. When the fucking stones came up his arm and into his hand, dude. He said, and I am Iron Man. Oh, come on, man, dude. My theater went nuts both times. It was dope. That was one of the best callbacks too. That's what I loved about this movie. The callbacks, the little things, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was so fucking perfect. And then Iron Man's done. He dusted everybody. I loved it. I love Thanos just sitting down like, fuck. Okay, this is my fate. Not his destiny, this is my fate. And just dust. Dude, I got, man.
I was kind of hoping that they would leave Thanos alive long enough for him to have like his death throes or some kind of final monologue or something like that. But I can see why they didn't, because they hate this character. Like, they hate Thanos so much, they're not even going to give him, a second. But it would have been nice to see him get that final moment to maybe like he realizes the error of his ways or something like that. I don't know. It would have been cool. Did you? Weird side note, but I swear I'm going with it somewhere with this. Did you see Glass by chance?
I did.
So you know how in Glass, every single character has their own death monologue, like including all 23 of James McAvoy's personalities.
Did they?
Pretty much.
I don't remember.
Fucking all of them had their own like long drawn out thing of talking about dying, and then that one died.
Oh yes. Okay.
They all fucking had huge monologues, except for Bruce Willis, who was being monologued to as he was dying,
which I hated.
Yeah, it was an awful movie.
See, I didn't think it was an awful movie, but that's a conversation for another time.
Yeah. Anyway, it was awful. Case closed.
It wasn't that bad at all.
All like 37 trillion characters that are in that fucking movie have their own death monologue. It takes up the last what feels like 45 minutes of the movie, and Thanos gets nothing, which upsets me because I don't know. I guess I'm still really salty about Glass because I really hated that movie. But I'm getting off topic. Yeah, I would have liked to hear his final words, but
if you could have written his final words, what would they be?
I don't know. I'm not that good of a writer, so anything I would have come up with would have been bad.
Okay, so
it would have been insufficient.
What would you like? I don't know. Roughly, what would you have liked him to say? Not if you had to write it, but give me an example. Like you said, seeing the error of his ways. Like, okay, maybe I was wrong. Bye.
Maybe not that, but also maybe something like the cliche villain thing of him, saying like, you struck me down, but in the future there'll be another bigger threat. There'll be another Thanos. Or some shit, or him saying like, the real guy to worry about is Galactus, and then he fades away, or whatever.
You wanted to tease into the future?
No, not necessarily a teaser into the future, but just like an opening into the future. I'm
going to tell you
honestly,
something.
Like I said, I understood why they didn't do it.
Hold on to that opening to the future thought because it's in this movie. I'm going to tell you where. In a minute. I dig what you're saying, and I wouldn't have been mad with that either. I thought personally that it was totally perfect the way he just, the look on his face to me said it all. And again, it goes back to what the technology we have today, what we can do with something like that. You fucking Josh Brolin was amazing. Although I will say this version of Thanos, for whatever reason, and it could have been me because I've seen it twice, and both times I noticed this. Some scenes it looked a little jerky, like a herky jerk, like the movements. And I don't know if it was because of the armor, being completely rendered, and then the mocap in his face. I have no idea, but there's some, do you really have to look for these things? And I think I was looking for anything to beef about the movie the first time around, right? So the second time around, when I was enjoying it more, I noticed it because I remember seeing it the first time. But I digress. Way off topic, going another way. his face, man, that face, to me, it said everything it needed to say. They fucking got me. I loved it. I loved it. And then, and then there's Tony Stark, and he dies, man. And I was like, see, to me, and I told my boy this too, I was like, Thanos snapped his fingers and he got, burnt half his body was burnt. Hulk was like, nobody can touch this because y'all gonna die. Let me do it. Half his body was burnt up. Iron Man, who's human, snaps his fingers. He should have been burnt to a crisp. I'm just saying. You know what would have been crazy? He should have been dust. He should have been dust. And I don't mean got dusted. He should have been standing there at the end and then just dust. But whatever. Tony Stark's a good-looking guy. Robert Downey Jr. is a good-looking guy. I felt it hurt. It hurt, but I didn't mind him dying, if that makes any sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we all knew it was coming.
See, and I didn't. I gotta be honest with you. I didn't think they were gonna do it.
You honestly thought that the end of this movie, the end of the Infinity Saga, would end with the Avengers leaving unscathed?
No, not unscathed, but I didn't. I'd rather them kill Thor. Just me. I hated Thor in this movie up until the end. No, let me stop. You know what? I was rooting for him to have that happy ending. I was rooting for it. You know what I mean? When he tells Cap, when he comes back and he tells Cap, we're gonna do this, but I'm giving this is how it's gonna be done. One, we do not go back and change anything because I need to come back to what I already have, what I have now, and I wanted that for him. I really wanted him to have that happy ending. So, I was like bummed that they killed him, but I understand they had. I understand it. To me, I didn't want to see it, dude. I'm also of the same. You think I want the Han Solo to die? No. You know for a fact I didn't want Luke to go. Which, by the way, after this, I'm going to talk to you because we got to talk some Star Wars shit. I don't like my characters dying, dude. That's why if they ever made a Die Hard movie and they killed John McClane, I'm boycotting. I'm writing letters to the studio like, I can't believe you did that. Why couldn't you just leave it be, motherfuckers? You know what I mean? So, but I get it, and especially in a superhero movie, it made sense. And he went out like a damn champion. He saved the universe. And that's something that Tony Stark in the first Iron Man movie, at the very end when he said I am Iron Man, I don't think he ever thought was ever going to be, like he ever had to do that. You know what I mean? I don't think he ever thought that it would come to that. Like it would be that big on that scale. So, So, no, it was a beautiful way to go. It worked. I wish he would have had his happy ending, but that's just me. I guess sometimes I'm a softie. And then they did the Lord of the Ring ending, bro. 15 different endings, but they had to close out everything. And I dug it. I liked seeing Wakanda at night. I really did, actually. It was beautiful. I loved what else? Who else they did? Hawkeye and Scarlet Witch. There's something there. There's not like a romantic relationship, but I think she looks at him as a mentor, and it's because he has that conversation with her in Age of Ultron when she's freaking out when they're in Sokovia and Sokovia is rising, and he's like, "Listen, dude, if you're gonna do this, we're gonna do this. You walk out that door, you're an Avenger, but if not, stay here." He gave her that pep talk, and she was like, "Yup." And even when he went to rescue her in Civil War, you know what I mean? Like, she looks up to him, and I like that they had a moment with them two. I dug that. Yeah, everybody was back, dude. Did you? Okay, Tony Stark's funeral. Did you know everybody that was there? Did you recognize everybody there?
Are you talking about that one kid that you didn't recognize?
You recognize him? I recognized him.
I had to look it up, but yeah.
Oh. See, I didn't. At first, I'm like, who's this random boy? Like, who's this random teenager standing there? And then it hit me. I'm like, oh, and I told my brother, I said, dude, that's the kid from Iron Man 3. That's the little boy. Oh, shit. And that was cool. I thought that was dope. And then, of course, I love at the end, you see Nick Fury turn, and there he is. And I was like, all right, cool. Captain America, though. Okay? And I was really happy for this. I really was. But, again, here we go with the paradox. I don't care what you say. How did Captain America go back and get married to Peggy Carter?
What do you mean?
He was married to her. The end of the movie. It doesn't make any sense. Because the timeline...
Sure it does.
No, it don't.
Yeah, it does.
No, it don't. because everything that happened happened. But how could it have happened if he was married to Peggy Carter? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can, in this world, you can go back and change stuff in the past without affecting the present. So he just went out and, like, the Captain America at that time was still frozen in ice, so he just went back and lived his life, and then came back to the future.
Yeah, no, I get that. But what I'm saying is, once Captain America is out of the ice, Peggy Carter's still alive. Where is Steve Rogers during that time? Is he hiding now? Does he have to hide? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it makes no sense. It makes zero sense. No, you know what? Yeah, no, it does make sense. Never mind. Haha, because he still does happen. Never mind. I take it all back. Because it does still happen. But he had to be hiding. That's all I'm saying. Captain America had to change his name and all that stuff. But even still, then, when she had dementia, you would think he would be there with her. Then, no, you see young Steve there. He keeps going back to her. My girl, he keeps going to see her. So then that means he had to hide. Yeah, I hate time travel movies, dude. I really do. If it ain't Bill and Ted, it ain't working. But anyway, I digress with that because I love the fact that Cap didn't die. You know what I'm saying? They left that open for a return just in case they need to or feel like they want to, right? They didn't kill him off. He can make a comeback some way, somehow, even if it's for a cameo. What do you think about as Guardians of the Galaxy?
I love it. You've been complaining this whole time about the jokes at the expense of Thor and the jokes Thor makes, but like his interactions with the Guardians in Infinity War is probably one of the best, funniest parts of the movie. And I think over the course of all of Thor's appearances, they realized that Chris Hemsworth is actually a really funny guy. Mm-hmm. So they've been giving him more comedy stuff, and he is a perfect fit in there.
I agree. I was not mad at the end of it. Like I said, I told you, I loved Thor at the end of the movie, and that was the end, so I loved him in that part. Especially his interactions with Peter Quail, as he called him. He called him Quail. Oh, man, I love it. I can't wait to see how that goes in. Now, you know what? And I actually love that. I think that is a perfect fit for Guardians 3 going forward. I want to know how much input James Gunn had with that and going forward because, dude, he's got to be in it, right? You would think now he's a part of the team.
Yeah.
You know? I loved it.
Well, all this was filmed and finished before the whole James Gunn thing went down.
Oh, that's right. You're right. I forgot about that. Jesus, they've been sitting on this movie for a whole year with nobody knowing the wiser. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. Here's the crazy thing. This is what I didn't like. What? Everybody that Peter Parker knew had to be dusted. Everybody. Because it's 5 years later and they're in high school again. So they all had to be dusted, right? I mean, it has to be, right?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, good. Because I was like, what? What? See, that's why I said 5 months later, and I'm okay with it. 5 years later, I'm like, what the hell? But anyhow, and that's how the movie ends, pretty much. Cap gives the shield to Falcon, and then Cap is dancing with his lady in the past. I loved it. I thought it was beautiful. Did you stay to the very end?
I did.
Even though we knew that there was nothing there, right? Mm-hmm. Did you hear it?
Did.
What did you think? I got fucking chills. I'm getting chills right now.
Yeah, chills sums it up best. Yeah, I just like, I don't know. I don't quite know what to make of it. But yeah, I got chills.
So, hey, ladies and gentlemen, what we're talking about is at the very end of the movie. There's nothing. They don't show. There's no end credit sequence. None of that. They do a really nice job. Like not a montage, but they give everybody that's been in any Avenger movie or even in their solo shit, they give them some props on the screen, get with their names, blah, you know, boom, 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 and then the main core Avengers, they have them and they like their signature pops up. And I thought that was beautiful. But at the very end of the movie, after the last credit rolls up, nothing shows. It goes black, but you hear this clanging. Clang, clang, clang. And dude, I swear to God, and yes, it's supposed to, like, people are like, well, that's, it harkens back to the first Iron Man when he's making the armor for the first time, his first suit of armor. And I'm like, that's Iron Man trying to get out of the afterlife. That's how I took it. I was like, he's not dead. I don't care what nobody says. He's Tony Stark. He's a fucking genius. He solved time travel. So I'm just saying, a fanboy can dream. That's all I'm saying. Fanboy. That could also have been just like a 10 bell salute for Stan Lee. Who knows? I don't. But the speculative nature in me says it's Tony Stark, trying to make a comeback. I would love it. I wouldn't be mad. You don't need it, but whatever. I digress. What about you? Anything?
I more so took it as like there will be another Iron Man, whether or not through some kind of shenanigans it's Tony Stark, or if it's someone else taking up the mantle. But it's also just kind of like a sign showing like, yep, everything has come full circle.
Full circle.
And like, remember where it all began, in a cave in the desert.
Right. Yep. In a cave in the desert. Wow. Yep. All right. So remember you said something earlier, like not too long ago, about Thanos and maybe, giving us a glimpse into the future or setting something up.
Mm-hmm.
And I said they kind of do that in the movie. Here's where I think they do that. And I'm telling you right now, it to me it was like, when after the 5 years and Black Widow is talking to Rocket and Nebula, Captain Marvel with her short hair, Jesus Christ, Michonne, because again I can't remember her name for the freaking movie for the life of me.
Something with an N.
Yeah, see, I can't even remember. And of course, Rhodey. And she's worried about an earthquake, and she's like, we don't do nothing, it's an earthquake. You know what I mean? Like, who do you want us to freaking earthquake? It's natural. And Scarlet, Black Widow, she's kind of like, she's real antsy. She's like, man, we got to check everything. Captain Marvel says that's been happening across the galaxy. Dude, I think it's... I think that's how they bring in everybody. The Fox movies. I think that's... I'm not talking about, like, the movies, but that's how they bring in now the X-Men and Fantastic... Like, I think that's how you bring in those properties. Not saying they come from another dimension, but I think that is the catalyst. Who knows, man? Maybe we get that in Humans movie now. Well, I don't know. Does Humans even count? Is that still considered canon? Even though
I don't think so.
Yeah, right? They probably was like, all right, look, nobody watched that. Let's just wipe it under the rug. No harm, no foul. It's kind
of like the Incredible Hulk, where it's like canon, but let's not talk about it.
Yeah, I guess so. Still, I like that movie. But I think that is the glimpse into the future. Very subtle. You don't even think twice about it, but because I am who I am and a stupid, just like somebody that wants it to be true, come on, man. That's a sign. That's a direct sign. Something's coming. It's Galactus. So, boom, dude, I tell you, that's what I took from that part. I don't know, but maybe nobody else did.
Yeah, I can see that, but I think, the next event has to be built up from the ground up again. There's no way they can just jump back into it. Absolutely. And I believe Marvel has said that, going forward, they're going to focus more on, the cosmic side of things. So yeah, maybe it is. And that's why they're really, trying to push Captain Marvel. It's because she's supposed to be the gateway into the cosmos.
More so than the Guardians?
Yeah.
I see, that's crazy.
They really, really wanted to push Captain Marvel as their new flagship character / de facto leader.
Well, yeah, I ain't mad at that. I'm really looking forward to it. And if they do, stick to that and stay in the cosmic realm, we could get the Silver Surfer with no problem. And I'd be excited to see that. Yeah. I'd be extremely excited to see that. Hell, You could, oh man, damn. See, there's so many possibilities because with Guardians 3 coming out, and we don't know what that's gonna be like. All we know is James Gunn is back, and then Captain Marvel taking place in space. And it's not like it can't be done, and it's not like people won't go out to see it because it has been done with Guardians, and it's been done successfully. So yes, we can do superheroes in space and make it work. You know, I'm excited, man. The future of Marvel looks bright, and all we know so far for certain is Spider-Man: Homecoming, Black Panther 2, Guardians 3, and Captain Marvel 2. That's all we know.
And Black Widow.
And Black Widow, but I'm not even counting that because honestly, and this is I tell my boy all the time, I don't need to see a story with her that takes place between those 5 years. I don't need to see it unless you want to show me Budapest. You want to show me Budapest? Show me Budapest. I'd like to see Budapest, but it's one of those things like I'm not interested honestly in a Black Widow movie. I'm just not, and of course that can change once I see the first trailers or hear. Read the synopsis, and I'm like, oh man, that sounds interesting. But what is she possibly doing? Because we know the end game.
Yeah.
So it's things like that. And when somebody was like, oh well, what about the prequels for Star Wars? And I'm like, well, dude, we're talking about the birth of one of the most iconic villains of all time. Yeah, I want to see that. Plus it's Star Wars. But anyhow, bro, listen, thank you. Thank you for joining me on mostly me doing all the ranting and going crazy.
No, it's all good. It was good.
Final review, bro. What's your score on this movie?
Tentative 9.5 out of 10.
Oh, wow.
I want to see it a second time.
That's crazy. I'm gonna give it a 8. Solid. I loved it. I still prefer Infinity War, though. And yeah, and I'm gonna stick to that. I don't think I'm going to see it again in theaters. 2 times is enough. And next up is Godzilla. And that I'm going to see a whole bunch of times. Unless it sucks. Because if it sucks, I'm going to be really mad. Really mad. I'll still see it twice. I've seen Shin Godzilla twice in theaters. But, Toho. Mm-hmm. But anyhow, bro, thanks for joining me.
Of course.
And thank y'all for staying with us for this long. If you've seen the movie and agree or disagree with anything we were loving or not, throw it in the comments, bro. We'll be here. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for G95. I am G1. We're out of here. Peace.
Later.